So, are you ready for the top 5 movies of 2014?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Me too. Yeah,
For better or worse,
I have several movies
in
that I
sickness and in health.
Yes, I have several movies that I give a 9 out of 10 or above on this one. Like there's some great ones this year. So I think I start first this week.
Okay.
And you'll be happy that I'm getting this one out of the way at my number 5. It's a Wes Anderson movie, The Grand Budapest Hotel. I'm guessing you probably have not seen this one.
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. You were probably
I'm
intrigued
almost
because it
to
was
the
in
point where
Budapest.
I'm beginning to understand him.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
So to me, it wasn't really that bad. Actually, I even chuckled a few times, you
yes.
know, with the thing. But Barbara still does not like him at all.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, at least this one, Ray Fiennes plays the main character, and he's always great in anything, but usually he's in dramatic roles, which this one has a little bit of drama, but it's more of that quirky, comedic sensibility of all Wes Anderson's movies. But Ray Fiennes is just so good in this, playing.
Yeah, it's just, it's the quick dialogue.
Yeah,
It's like short, quick, fast,
right. And
and
with
everybody more or less acts the same way. It's almost like rigid.
Yes, yeah, like there's not a lot of, like, the way people speak in most of Wes Anderson's movies, there's not a lot of emotion behind it. They're just
Exactly.
blankly saying things. And sometimes that's what makes it funny, it's
And
like just
even when people die,
right.
it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like they just keep talking. They don't.
exactly. But yeah, I'm assuming part of what made you chuckle, there's a scene with Jeff Goldblum, who he's always hilarious anyway, but with his cat that gets thrown out the window by Willem Dafoe, and he's like, "Did you just throw my cat out the window?" Like the way he says it is so funny, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah,
like, did you throw my cat out the window?
right.
Did you throw my cat out the window? That's how they
Exactly.
talk.
Yeah. And then the scene where Defoe is like following him, and that ultimately, kills him or whatever. Like there's just so many things in the movie that happened that's like, did that just happen? Like, what the hell, man?
I know. And there's all these walking scenes,
Yeah.
like the guy's fingers getting chopped off when Defoe closes the door on him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so all those
The
scenes are
lawyer.
classic with Defoe and Goldblum, but yeah, Ray Fiennes carries the movie. He's great. You got so many people, of course, Adrian Brody, Edward Norton,
Yeah.
Bill Murray, all the usuals, and some of them in very small roles, like blink and you miss them. But I like the dynamic between the bellboy and the hotel manager. And there's actually like a kind of truly sad scene at the end, of heroism that makes it. It's not like, I don't even know if it would be in my top 5 Wes Anderson movies. It might be at the bottom, but yeah, it's a good one. So I'm glad you kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was okay.
All right,
It
cool.
didn't make my top 5
Of
or
course,
my
yeah,
honorable mention. I was thinking about doing it as an honorable mention, but I
yeah.
didn't.
I think my honorable mention will probably be on your list, but we'll see. So what's your number 5?
My number 5, and another, get it out of the way, John Wick.
Ah, okay. All right.
This was the first one. And to me, I like this one better because there was really actually a story behind it. I
Right.
mean, John Wick, uh, Zardani Jovanovic is his real name.
Okay, yeah.
He was born in Belarus. He worked for the Russian mafia. He was an assassin.
Ah, I see.
So now he's retired. His wife dies. Just before his wife dies, uh, she arranges to have this dog given to him.
Right.
And so he runs into these other Russian mob people at a gas station. They want to buy his car, which is a vintage Mustang. He doesn't want to sell it.
Yeah.
So they wind up breaking into his place, killing his dog, and stealing his car.
Yes.
And then from there, it just continues. There's hits, you know, he kills the people that did that. Then, the father puts a bounty on him. He escapes to this safe hotel.
Yeah.
And then the Russian guy doubles the bounty on anybody that would break the code of the hotel, because you're not supposed to do any assassination stuff in this hotel.
Yeah, right. So it's like ultimate revenge flick and a lot of violence, correct?
Yeah, it's a lot of violence. Not as
Yeah.
much as in the movies coming down the pike. And we're
Yeah.
still waiting for John Wick 4, which will
Right.
probably be out in this year sometime, maybe.
Yeah.
But like the last one, it was just like, the third one was just like constant fighting. It was like ridiculous. But it's like all that, kung fu type stuff that like he was basically doing in
Like the Matrix and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was in the Matrix, but only to a greater extent.
Yeah.
The guy's holding a gun on you, and you're like slapping it away, kicking, and doing all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was an interesting, entertaining movie, especially the concept of that safe hotel thing.
Yeah, and that he's so pissed off about the dog and everything. And
Yeah. So I think Ian McShane plays the hotel manager.
Okay.
So he's like really good in the movie.
All right. Yeah. I have yet to check any of them out. So
yeah, watch the first one.
All right. I'll check it out. Good popcorn flick, I assume. So all right.
And it keeps you glued to the screen because the action is just so rampant in the thing. You turn to eat popcorn and you miss part of the movie.
You miss 2 kills with 1 bite.
You could, yes, easily.
That's funny, man. All right. Well, my number 4, now we're getting into territory of like a 9 out of 10 and above for me. This movie is called Whiplash.
Yeah, actually, I have it higher.
Wow, really? Okay, I'm impressed. Yeah, directed by Damien Chazelle, who went on to direct La La Land as his second movie.
Yeah, that movie I didn't like at all.
I know. But this one stars Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons and is also quite musical, or at least that's surrounding it. Miles is in the drum school.
Simmons was like brutal in this movie.
Oh, yeah, he was amazing. I don't know if he won Best Supporting Actor for this, but I know he was nominated, but he deserved to because he was just amazing.
If he didn't, I mean, he definitely deserved it.
Yeah, I think he did win, but yeah, J.K. Simmons, man, gosh, what a, I think we all can relate to like having hard ass teachers.
This was like so intense.
Yeah,
I mean, he was worse than a drill sergeant in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, he reminded me a little bit of that Full Metal Jacket role, in that way, and it got actually physical, like when he throws the symbol at him, and then later, after it gets to the point where Miles gets in a car accident and he still goes
Oh
to
yeah,
the thing, and then he just tackles the guy, and it's just insane, the levels that this gets to.
yeah,
But
because he left his sticks at the
right,
rental company, so he
yeah,
goes back, and then
right,
on the way in, he
yeah,
has the car accident, and he
right,
like staggers into the building,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's trying to play, but he's injured, and he can't
yeah.
really perform that way.
Unbelievable. And you got to give it up for Miles Teller's performance too, because like he's really playing drums in
Yeah,
this movie, and he was incredible, like the stuff he was doing. Even if you're not into like that specific style of jazz music, it was super impressive. And that ending, and not to
yeah,
give it away,
yeah. The ending was
incredible.
just incredible.
Yeah. And because it balances that line of hatred and respect that they had for one another, and that scene too where like where he little does he know he's setting him up later, where they meet at the bar, and he tells the story of the famous jazz musician, Bird or whatever, who also threw a cymbal at him or whatever. And the whole thing about respect, yeah, it's really, it poses this interesting question, like how do you bring the best out of somebody?
Yeah. I
um
mean, he was
yeah,
practicing so hard. I remember that his hands were bleeding.
right, yeah. Oh, Paul Reiser is good too in the movie as his father, who's like very concerned about him for multiple reasons, like going into music to begin with, and then when he's learning how brutal this is. But he's at that ending scene too, like just his facial expression is says everything, so cool. So all right, well, glad you have it on your list higher. That's cool. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
I knew you'd have one of those somewhere.
Or more. We'll
Yeah,
see.
right.
Again, this stars Chris Evans, Samuel L. Jackson, Scarlett Johansson. Robert Redford is in this one.
Right. Yeah.
He plays the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Mackie plays a new thing, the Falcon in the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It takes place after the last Avenger movie.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with these movies is that they're in order,
Mm-hmm.
and they all follow each other. It's
Yeah.
like this one big continuing story.
Right. Which is impressive, but it's part of the reason why I don't even watch them anymore.
Like what is it? The James Bond movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like God knows what, 25, 26, whatever
Right.
of those
Yeah.
things, right?
You gotta
But they
see them
don't
all. Yeah.
follow a specific order,
Right.
except maybe for the last ones with what's his name?
Craig. Yeah.
Yeah, follow an order. But when that series ends, then another series begins, and it's a new Bond starting from the beginning again.
Yeah. Yeah. But these, yeah, it is really cool how they weave them all together like one big puzzle,
Right.
and in order. That's very cool, but it can
And
get like tiring.
to figure out where is the guy that wrote the comics, what's his name?
The Captain America comics,
Yeah, the
or
Avenger comics.
um
Stan something or other.
oh, right, yeah, I forget his name. It is Stan something.
Yeah. So it's like, where is he going to appear in the movie?
Right, yeah, because
Yes.
they throw him in as an extra,
Right.
right? Yeah.
But okay, so this one is basically about Shield, and it's been infiltrated
Yeah.
uh, by Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know who's the good guys now and who's the bad guys, because they're working in the same place.
Right. Yeah.
And actually, Samuel L. Jackson gets killed in this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember watching this, I think, at
Yeah.
your place, and I
And
wasn't really watching.
and he tells Rogers, Captain America, not to trust anybody.
That's right.
So he wasn't even like trusting Scarlett Johansson,
Mhm.
Black Widow initially, but then they started working together
Yeah. Yeah.
to find out who's running Hydra, and then it's all this, Avenger fighting and stuff
Right.
going
Yeah.
on. But the Captain America ones are
They're
are
pretty solid.
different, like from the Avenger,
Yeah.
or Iron Man,
Mhm.
because this is like a regular guy that was just like body enhanced and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's other,
I much prefer Iron Man because of the character of Tony Stark being like
yeah,
this kind of conflicted character. Captain America to me is just kind of, I don't know, dull just
well,
because
yeah, but he's conflicted too because he
yeah.
was made during World War II, and
Right.
then he was in deep freeze,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, and now all of a sudden he's in the modern age.
Yeah.
He's got to get used to it, and his girlfriend is already like in her
Yeah. Yeah.
80s or something. Yeah,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say, like, his character isn't as fun to me.
no, he's like more serious.
Yeah. Right. Which is cool. Which
Yeah,
it's a good counterpoint balance of the whole Avengers when they're all together and everything. So, but yeah, good pick.
yeah, and
So,
they hate each other.
right, yeah, exactly.
Tony
Yeah,
and Captain America.
right. So, I'm curious to see if we have any more in common from here because I think there's a possibility that any one of my top three, I think you would have liked. But my number three is Ex Machina. Have you seen that one? The female robot movie.
I thought that was next year.
No, it was 2014.
Ex Machina?
Yeah, yeah, it's
No,
pronounced Ex
I'm pretty
Machina.
sure it's 2015.
Let's look
But
it
okay.
up. Let me make sure. I hope it's not one of those things where Letterbox like changed the year on me after I made a list years ago. Let me see. Ex Machina. Oh man, that must be what happened. Yeah, because it does say 2015. I'm gonna have to do a quick revision here. All right, so damn it. All right, so basically, what I'm gonna do is move my honorable mention to my number 5,
Okay.
which was Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise.
Yes, that was a good movie.
So, that didn't make
Good
your
action
list?
flick. Huh?
That didn't make your list?
No.
Okay. I thought that
It was
might be
close.
on your list.
It was very close. And
Yeah.
if I did, it was going to be my honorable mention.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that was a fun movie.
yeah.
It's getting a little grating though.
Yeah, because it's almost like Groundhog Day as an action movie, basically.
Yeah, but the only difference is that he dies every time,
Right, exactly.
and not necessarily by the aliens. I
Yeah.
mean, she shoots him a lot of times too.
Right, yeah. And it's fun to see Tom Cruise play sort of against type as like the non-macho coward in the movie who ends up becoming less cowardly as it goes on. But yeah, he's great. Bill Paxton was also great in it
Yeah,
as one of the army sergeants.
yeah, it was really a good cast.
Yeah. So that'll be my 5. Budapest Hotel will now be my 4. Whiplash will now be my 3. So what's your three?
My three is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ah, okay. All right.
Now you like that one, right?
Yeah, it was okay. It was like
Yeah. Well, the first one, it's like they're building the Guardians
yeah.
because they're, well, I mean, it starts out that Chris Pratt is a kid, the movie starts off, and his mother's dying of cancer,
Yep.
and she leaves him a present. And when he when she dies, he gets so upset he runs out of the hospital outside, and he gets sucked up by this alien ship,
Yeah.
and they raise him. So now he's an adult, and the present that his mother gave him was like the music that she liked to listen to at that time. So he's always got his Walkman with the tape in, and he's like wearing it,
Yeah,
stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah, I love that element of the movie.
Right. So then it's like an Indiana Jones thing. You
Right.
know, he lands on this planet, breaks in a thing, and he sees this like orb, and he takes it,
Yeah.
and everybody else wants that orb.
Right.
So he runs into all these other characters. This this thing that looks like a raccoon.
Yes. Who's voiced by Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, right? It's Rocket. Then there's this other thing, Groot, the Rocket's sidekick, Groot, played by
Yeah.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
You know,
Groot
his
is good.
voice.
Yeah, yeah.
So they got these like cool aliens, and then Zoe Zogdana.
Oh, Zoe Saldana. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So she plays another one
Yep.
in the thing. So they all come together to save the universe.
Right. Yeah.
And the thing about this is that that orb has something to do with the upcoming battle, the Infinity Wars,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is coming down the pike.
Yeah.
like
Somehow
10
they
years,
tie all this together.
10 years later, but this is like the start of it.
Right. Yeah. Crazy how they tie all these universes together. But
Yeah,
yeah, I gotta say, now that you're the way you just described it, I was just had a thought that, you know, there hadn't really been another space kind of movie since Star Wars that kind of matched that level of these fun alien
yeah,
characters and stuff. And they it's a cute movie, but I think it comes close at least.
yeah. I mean, Rocket is like,
Yeah.
cynical,
Right.
loudmouth type thing, and everybody picks on him. They call him a squirrel,
Hmm.
a rodent, all these things. So you got all these comedic elements into the thing.
Right.
This one's like, it's not like serious like Captain America is. This
Yeah.
is more like free going.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what, yeah, I enjoyed that one more. So glad you had it higher than the other. All right. So now I'm not sure if we'll have something else in common or not, because we have one chance to do it. But my number two, now with my revised list, is Chef.
No, that did
Okay.
not make any of my lists.
All right.
But I like that movie though.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man, directed this, and he plays the lead role of the chef who is having some occupational issues where he works for Dustin Hoffman, who wants him to do the same meal every night, but he wants to be more creative. So what I like about the movie is like you could easily throw this into any occupation,
Yeah.
and
Is this the one where then he does or am I thinking of a different one where he has his own
Food
chuck
truck.
wagon?
Yeah. He gets a food truck from Robert Downey Jr.,
Okay.
who had also dated his ex-wife, and so there's like a funny thing with that. But yeah, he takes his son with him, which it's actually a good father-son movie as well. And then so he goes kind of, it's sort of like an adventure. They go cross country with him and John Leguizamo, and they're doing Cuban sandwiches, which they had me at that too, because I love, that's my favorite sandwich of all time. So yeah, the music is great, and the movie literally will make you hungry watching it, and it's like a heartwarming, father son story as well, and then him kind of figuring out what he's going to do from here in multiple ways, and it's got a lot of funny moments too. So
Yeah, it's a good success story too.
yeah. I somehow it had passed me by, which was surprising because I love Favreau, and I think I saw it on a plane, and then I've watched it I don't know how many times. He even has a spin-off show now on Netflix, the Chef Show, because like he really got into it. He went to chef school and everything to prepare for the movie. So now he does a show of like cooking with some, he brings other celebrities on and stuff, and it's kind of fun to watch as well. But yeah, cool. So what is your number two?
Number two is Gone Girl.
Ooh, good pick. Yeah, that probably will now be my honorable mention right now. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, this was like, uh, yeah, he's married for 5 years. On the day of the his fifth wedding anniversary, his wife disappears.
Yep.
There's there looks like there's foul play. The living room is like messed up. The glass, that thing that's in the middle of the chairs, whatever it's called, is all broken and turned upside down. So he calls the police. They come in. They find some blood.
Right.
So they're treating it as initially as a kidnapping.
Yeah.
But as it goes on, it looks like now that it might be murder.
Yeah.
And that he might be the murderer.
Prime suspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great, like the first half of the movie, especially, it's like it's almost like you're watching a very well done, intense 2020 episode or something.
Yeah, I know. They have all this thing. They put all this media out. It's commercials like to help find his wife.
Right.
They have town meetings.
Yeah.
His parents are there.
Yeah.
To saying how much he loves her, and to find her and stuff like that. But as the detective starts digging, now they start looking into the house more. They find out that there's even more blood all over the place, and that it was cleaned up.
Yeah, right. And so there's a huge twist in the middle of the movie, which usually comes at an end of a movie.
Yes.
But then, it takes some drastic twists and turns from there, where Rosamund Pike, not to give anything away, but I mean, her performance is just crazy in this movie.
Oh, yeah, God. She was like a psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of freaked me out. Especially the scene with her and I want to call Harris. I always want to call him Doogie Howser, but yeah, with Neil Patrick Harris, man. Oh my God, poor guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, David Fincher, man, this is probably a top 5 of his movies, and that's saying something because Zodiac, Seven, this fits right along with that style of movie. But the soundtrack too by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross really lends to the creepier moments. Really well done, and Affleck is great in this too,
Yeah.
because you really feel bad for the guy at the end of the movie. It's like, geez, he's like, you're like, it's like truly frightening.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to ruin the movie for anybody, but
Yeah,
this is like one of the must-see movies
yeah,
of 2014.
yeah. Well, I'm glad
Without
you
a
had it
doubt.
that on your list. Yeah, because that's a good one. And yeah, so that definitely would be my honorable mention now. And now, so I know what your number one is, obviously, is
Yes,
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and
All right.
only because of the intensity of that movie.
Oh
It was
yeah.
like no movie ever made me feel like that movie.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I know what you mean. For
yeah,
sure. Yeah, it's so intense. Like even the scenes where he's just practicing and everything. I mean, it's just like,
yeah. I knew with hands bleeding and stuff like that, and
right.
his drive,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be the best.
Right.
And
Yep.
then the guy telling him he's not,
Right.
and abusing him, not just saying, well, kid, you ain't doing good. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
like you said, throwing the symbols,
And
you
yeah,
know,
and some of like his cursing diatribes, that's what reminded me of Full Metal Jacket. It was just
yeah.
like, I've never even heard those words put together in that order. That's
And probably
fantastic.
never will again.
Right. So all right, so my number one is Saint Vincent.
Yeah, I figured you were going to do St. Vincent.
Yeah, this is a movie that like Chef, I didn't see it right away. And I don't know why, because I'm a huge Bill Murray fan. But I thought from outside looking in, it looked like a little formulaic, and actually it is, but I don't know, it's just everything that the director Theodore Melfi does in this movie. He just checks all the boxes that I love. Like it's kind of
Yeah,
like Chef. Yeah.
I think this was like probably Murray's best dramatic role.
Yeah, yeah, he does it. He's perfect for the role.
Yeah,
And the story of it is actually Melfi wrote this specifically for him. And if he wasn't going to do it, he probably wasn't even going to make the movie. But Murray in real life is very difficult to get a hold of. Like he doesn't even have an agent. He just has some kind of phone number that goes to a voicemail. And if he likes your message, maybe he'll call you. And so he actually called the guy and met him like at an airport, and and he was like, said, yeah, I'm interested. And then he didn't see him again for like months. And then, he finally got back to him and said, yeah, I'll do it. But it's like Murray's so crazy, man. But yeah, he plays so well in this movie of this cranky old man
yeah,
who he's he's he spends his time with a Russian prostitute, and he's at the bar most of the time, and he's betting on the races, and he's he's in gambling debt. And but then the more you get to know him through this new kid that moves in next
yeah.
door,
Seeing him through his eyes.
right, you start to see that he has a heart. And especially in the scenes where you see that like his wife, who doesn't remember who he is, he goes to visit her. There's like elements of all these movies, like there's that reminds me of The Notebook. It's got like that kind of element to it. And then the kind of father son relationship that he takes up with this kid, you could relate to so many other movies, but it's so well done. And by the time it gets to that scene at the end where the kid's doing his project, and he has him walk up at the end, saying all these great things about him, which the school project, they're in a Catholic school, and he has to do this project about who's a modern day saint. And you wouldn't think he would pick Murray as a saint, but he does, and it actually makes sense by the end of the movie, and you're like, man, that scene, I don't, it gets me every time. Like, there's few movies that actually make me cry, and that one does it every time I see it.
Yeah,
So,
I felt the same way.
yeah. So, yeah, as for that reason, it's my number one. But yeah, absolutely love Murray in this. And then for extra measure, there's so many funny parts in the movie, but like I love how he makes the kid like do these chores. He's like making him mow his lawn, which has no grass. It's just like dirt flying around. And and then at the end credits, it's just Murray like singing a Bob Dylan song, and like it's just yeah, Melfi took advantage of making this the most Murray movie that it could possibly be. Like all the Wes Anderson kind of Murray tropes are there, as well as everything else that makes him great dramatically and comedically. So yeah, so we got a good list here. So obviously Whiplash is our number one because it was your one and my three. And then so number two would be St. Vincent, since it's my number one. So now it's between Gone Girl and Chef. So let's see here. Gone Girl has I usually do this on my phone, which I think is faster. Okay, Gone Girl has a 4.1.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to take it, I would imagine. Let's see. Chef has 3.6. Yeah. So Gone Girl at 3, Chef at 4. And now it's between, oh, no, actually, Guardians of the Galaxy will be 5 because my next one down is my 4. So that was easy. Because Whiplash was my 3. So, all right. So, what did you say your honorable mention was, or have you said
I
it
didn't.
yet? Okay.
The Imitation Game.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which is during World War II, they capture an Enigma machine, but they don't know how to use it. They can't decipher the messages. So obviously, people are getting killed and stuff like that. And Turing makes a computer.
Yeah, right.
And initially, it didn't work too well because it would take more than a day to translate the code.
Yeah.
And by that time, it was too late. So they figured out a way to give it just a scrap of information, and it was able to spit out the code for that day. They plug it in the Enigma machine, and now they knew where everybody was. All the Germans were in the thing. However, the twist was they had to pick and choose which convoys they could save or what information that they could use, because if they did it every time, the Germans would know that they cracked the Enigma code.
Right, right. Yep.
So it was like, it was very intense.
Yeah. Who's the actor that plays in this? I always, Cumberbatch, right?
Yeah, Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And Keira Knightley was in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark Strong.
All right. Well, good pick. Yeah, this was a strong year all around. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's like tons of movies. Again, I mean, Interstellar. I mean, that was like one of the big movies. The only reason why I couldn't pick Interstellar was because I understand the movie.
Yeah. No, yeah, I loved Interstellar too. Actually, yeah, I don't know if I would either that or Gone Girl would be my honorable mention. I'm not sure, but yeah, I did really like Interstellar too. Even though like in usual Christopher Nolan fashion, it's like almost too cerebral and to where, but I do like the whole concept of like the other dimension and like love being part of that, and it being the time and space continuum thing, and then yeah, McConaughey was great, of course, and Matt Damon's cameo was kind of cool. So yeah, lots of great movies.
Yeah, and not even mentioning the Academy Award movies, Birdman and Boyhood.
Oh right, yeah.
I couldn't get into those.
Yeah, both of them were a little too. Birdman especially was a little too artsy, like for I felt to be enjoyable, and then Boyhood, it's amazing what he pulled off, like over such an amount of time filming this movie. But I couldn't really like the kid. I didn't think was that compelling of a actor, and Ethan Hawke and everyone else in the movie was good, but I just didn't get into it that much either. So, but yeah, I think our
we
list
did good on our picks.
Yeah. So the top 5 movies as of 2014, as picked by 3 and 4, are at number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy. At number 4, Chef. At number 3, Gone Girl. At number 2, Saint Vincent. And at number 1, Whiplash. Yeah. That's a solid list right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of different styles of movie there too. So I dig it. All right. Well, join us next time as we get to 2015, which obviously I'm going to have to revise that list as well. But
well, you at least
I'm giving one of them away in advance. But you'll be surprised how high it is, I guess. So we'll see you on that one, and love you.
Love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.